New Mexico's Attorney General's office has a very big case on its hands this morning.
Yes, it's about millions of dollars in Medicaid fraud. A state audit has found that 15 providers of mental health and substance abuse services overbilled the federal government by $36 million, and their billing mistake rates were far above the national average. Now, the state Human Services Department has stopped Medicaid payments to all the providers. It has sent the audit to the Attorney General's office to investigate. Well, more Border Patrol agents could be coming to New Mexico and other states along the border.
It's all part of the big immigration bill that's working its way through Congress as we speak. Yesterday, this bill took a very big step forward when the Senate approved an important amendment to it. It would nearly double the size of the U.S. Border Patrol to about 40,000 agents and build more fences along the border with Mexico. 15 Republicans joined 52 Democrats in voting for the amendment, giving it the bipartisan support the president has been hoping for. The Senate could take a full vote on this immigration bill later this week. Then it would go to the House, where it will be a very tough sell. We will keep you updated.
Well, happening right now, a wildfire scorches 80 acres in the Gila National Forest. The silver fire is only about 20% contained this morning. No structures have been lost. Additional firefighters continue to arrive as the teams switch from the Arizona team to the New Mexico team. Keep in mind, Highway 152 continues to be closed, including the campgrounds and trails. The same extreme summer weather is expected to last through the week. We're going to see temperatures soar in the southwest. And of course, over in the San Juan National Forest up in Colorado, the West Fork Complex fire has grown to more than 75,000 acres with no containment. An incident commander says while things are looking better for the tourist town of South Fork, Colorado, it's by no means secure, and dozens of residents remain evacuated up there. So they're dealing with even tougher conditions than what we're seeing in the southwestern part of New Mexico.
Yeah, I know you've been keeping an eye on the weather situation. Any relief on the way?
Well, a little bit of relief for the southwest today, not a whole lot. It would be nice to get some moisture. We're not going to see that, but at least the winds will back off. Yesterday, the winds were just steadily going from the southwest, just bringing more dry air across the southwestern part of the state, gusting at times up near 35 and 40 miles an hour. The winds have settled down, but again, it's still very dry. So that will be the main concern, the dryness. We're at 16 dew point wise, and that means relative humidity is pretty much in the teens this morning, and that's going to drop as things heat up today, and we'll see it get back down to the single-digit humidity. So the big concerns today will be the wind and the low humidity. Temperatures will be in the mid-90s, so it's going to be hot too, and winds today at about 15-20, at times could gust to near 30 miles an hour, and that will be on the high end, so it won't be as bad as yesterday, and the winds will continue to steadily taper off over the next few days. So the wind will get better, the heat though going up. It is going to be big time hot across most of New Mexico this week. Have the details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Kristen, thank you. You know, it is getting harder and harder for you to find a place to legally shoot off fireworks this summer.
The Santa Clara Pueblo and Santa Ana Pueblo have now both agreed to ban fireworks that shoot out or up. The governor recently met with the leaders from all 22 Pueblos to try to get them to pass the rules, hoping to prevent more wildfires. Most cities and counties, including Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, already have the fireworks restrictions. One of New Mexico's most promising high school athletes ever is back in trouble this morning, and in fact, he's in jail. Albuquerque police arrested former La Cueva running back Ronnie Daniels on Sunday, saying he broke into this home near his old high school and was naked inside, taking a bath. A mother and her two daughters say they came home and were scared and shocked to see Daniels in their house. Police say he took off running, but they caught him a little bit later. Daniels played at Texas Tech after La Cueva, but got kicked off the team for his attitude. Then he went to San Diego State, but he quit just a few weeks ago. Well, the search is still on for one of two guys who broke out of a jail in eastern New Mexico recently.
And the other one who was caught is talking with us.
What did you do when you saw daylight?
All right, well, that is Stephen Phillips. Investigators say he and Ruben Lozano, another inmate at the Roosevelt County Jail in Portales, used a piece of metal from a bed frame to cut out the vent of the ceiling of their cell last week. Now, they had then climbed onto the roof and used some sort of a rope, made blankets to get to the ground, if you can imagine that. Phillips broke his foot while he was running away. Lozano, though, is still on the run.
Man of many words there.
Yeah. All right, here is a follow-up to a story we first told you about yesterday morning.
Yeah, it's that national report that paints a very bleak picture for kids in New Mexico. This year's Kids Count study ranks New Mexico the worst in the whole country when it comes to children and their well-being. New Mexico went from 49th last year to dead last, 50th this year. A big reason why: more than 30% of children here were living in poverty in 2011, and nearly 2/5 had parents who didn't have stable jobs.
I think the whole unemployment issue, the whole issue with poverty, and I think ultimately the whole issue with the lack of good early childhood programs has causes a big mountain that we have to cross.
It's more like a big mountain range sometimes. Two other states in the Southwest, Nevada and Arizona, also ranked low on the list. New Hampshire came in first.
Well, a different study shows that charter schools are indeed benefiting low-income, disadvantaged, and special education students. The study by the Center for Research on Education Outcomes at Stanford University says charter schools overall are also doing better than traditional public schools in reading and keeping pace in math. The study analyzed student data from 25 states, the District of Columbia, and New York City. Chartered schools have more freedom to direct their resources toward specific needs.
Well, more than 60 families in Santa Fe are about to get new homes. The Stagecoach Motor Inn is officially being dedicated as the Stagecoach Apartments this afternoon. It has more than 60 apartments for low-income families, homeless families, and more. The governor, Santa Fe's mayor, and more will all be at the Stagecoach at 3 this afternoon for a big ribbon cutting. Well, don't you hate it when you're on vacation and you have to check out of your hotel by 10 or 11 a.m.? Basically, you got to get the family and get going. Well, that's changing in some cases for the better. A number of hotels are trying to get you to stick around a little bit longer by giving you late checkouts on Sundays. And some are even doing it during the week so you can stay for a full 24 hours. Go figure. You pay a couple $100, it's the least you could expect. It's easiest on Sunday nights because that's when hotels are the least busy and most rooms don't have to be ready until Monday night.
Love the idea. I was just up at Telluride, Colorado last weekend.
And you had to check out.
We had to check out
Sunday.
like at, I think it was 11 a.m. But you know, you're on a little vacation, you want to sleep in.
You know, by the time you sleep in, you get breakfast, you're right. Then you're rushing to get everything packed up and throw it in the car. All right, 5:00.